Hey everyone, it's Skipper Mark, and today we are at the Branford River boat ramp, and we're just getting ready to launch the kayak, or not kayaks. I saw a kayak and it made me think of kayaks. But yeah, we're launching our Waverunners into the river, and we're gonna go to the Thimble Islands, which is about 7 or 8 miles away. So the launch was pretty uneventful, which is always a good thing. And we've got I don't know, half a mile or so before we reach the Long Island Sound, and we can actually go fast. Right now we are actually in the Branford River. And so yeah, it's salty here. Tide is going out, so we are dealing with shallower conditions. And in this area, the tide is pretty big. It's 6 to 7 feet. So today low tide is at 0.8 feet, and high tide will be 6.5. That can make a big difference in where you go, but generally if you stay in the channels, you know, you're fine. We'll just have to be careful if we head, you know, close to shore, anywhere out of the channel. So for weather today, we're not really sure what to expect. Gusts say they could be up to 17, which if that's true are very high. But then another site says winds are gonna be 3 to 5, maybe 7. So I really honestly don't know what it's gonna be. So I think we are almost out of the harbor here. I've never been here before, but it looks like we're heading out toward the Sound now. Huge jellyfish here. That big white blob in the water, about a foot or two below the surface. Definitely you don't want to jump in and go swimming now, right there. This island in front of us is called Outer Island, and it's a Thimble Island, and it's the farthest one out from shore. Shore is, I think, about a mile, but I'm not certain. It's actually a preserve, and the island was owned by a lady who left it in her estate to be public land. So you can come here by boat. There's actually a taxi in town that'll bring you in, and you know, you can kayak out here. And kayaking is huge in this area because it's relatively sheltered. So you're out in the ocean, but it's a beautiful experience. And I have some photos at home that I'll include in this video. I'm going to include them now, of us kayaking out here, and Matt standing up on that rock. These floats that they may have been popping up in my other camera view that you see every so often, those are actually lobster traps. But this is still Outer Island, and it's a big island. It's actually a great place to come and visit and walk around. You feel like a pirate. So just as I had mentioned, there's kayakers out there, and they probably came from the mainland. It's, I think, a mile, and again, I'll post that. Over here is a dock where you can get out. That dock is new. When we came here before, there was no dock. It was just land, and you had to pull up on that kind of rocky beach over there, which is fine on a kayak, but not something I would want to do on Waverunner. I'm using my GPS plotter here, and anything that is shallower than 8 feet turns blue. That's what I have it set to. So we're able to see that, like, hey, this area is you know, less than 8 feet, be careful. All the islands here are private, and I don't know the exact regulations of what you have to do to put a house on it, but there are regulations. So for instance, this island over here on the right is not big enough to have a house. I don't see a name for this island, but I think it's called Mother-in-Law Island or something. I remember once when we took a tour, they told a story of either a guy came out here one night and slept on the island to get away from his mother-in-law, or he came out with his family and they left the mother-in-law here. I don't remember the exact story, but even if you have a boat, I highly recommend a tour because they give you all kinds of cool history about the area. But that is a very small house, but hey, I'd take it. It's quite nice. Speaking of tour boats, there's one right there. Now there's all different types of tour boats that come through this area. That boat is tiny, which on the surface people might be like, oh, why do I want to go on a tiny boat? But that one's fun because it allows you to go into, you know, shallow coves and cool places like that. If you look to the left over here, you can see the high water line, and so the tide in this area is about 7 feet, 6 to 7. So right now we're at low tide, so a lot of the rocks are exposed. This boat here is called the Sea Mist, and I think the captain is called Bob. I think that's his name. He's right there in the pilot house. We've taken that tour as well. You've got both upstairs and downstairs levels. Personally, I kind of like the downstairs because everyone goes upstairs and you're out of the sun, and you can have a window seat and run back and forth and get nice photos. You can get boat gas on that dock right there, and you can launch your boats right there. We chose not to do it because the parking is like a mile away. You have to go to some big field, and it's like 3-4 foot tall grass that you have to back your trailer into. So I definitely would not want to do that. But if you have a kayak, you can just drop them here, park your car anywhere in any of these spots, and, you know, go kayaking for the day. This swim area is a town beach. It's nice if you have kids. I don't think I'd want to come here for the day to swim, but, you know, if you're visiting and hot, it's fine to jump in. It's fun to have a little picnic and lunch, but no big waves or anything that you can, you know, splash around in. Lots of sailing happens out of here, and there's a couple sailboats tied up over there. They always have, like, it seems like little kids sailboat races, which is great. I learned to sail since I was a child. Like at 3 years old, I was out on a boat with my dad sailing, and I knew how to sail by like age 5. And then when I was 9, I would just go sailing alone. We grew up on a campground at Gardner Lake, and my dad would be gone at work, and I'd stay at the campground with my mom, and I would just sail all day long. It was awesome. It was like the ultimate life. But then I had to get a job, and, you know, everything changed after that. If you want to get to the outer island and don't have a boat or don't want to kayak, you can take that taxi right there. This island here houses the Falkner Island Lighthouse. It's one of the largest lighthouses, I think, in Long Island Sound. It's a very popular area, very pretty. They have a webcam, so you can actually watch that from, you know, your home or wherever you are. Don't know if the GoPro will pick it up, but this is not open to the public. There's a sign there, back on the building, and it just says no landing area closed. So do not come here. You cannot come here. The weather has turned out absolutely gorgeous. It is mirror smooth out here. There's a few waves every so often, but other than that, it's amazing. It's just beautiful. It's unlike any other time I've been out here. Every time we've come, it's been really rough, really wet, cold, icky, you know, windy. Today is not that way. I think I went to the wrong spot. I think it's further back that way. Well, I messed up. I wanted to go to a place in Westbrook where we go in the car a lot, and there's a food stand where you can get food and all kinds of stuff. And I thought it was here, but it actually wasn't. Unfortunately, it's 5 miles back where we came from. But regardless, we got to see a really pretty area here. So we're gonna go up to this sandbar here. We actually are at the area where we wanted to go to get food, but we're gonna bypass food for right now, and we're gonna go stand on the sand and just stand on the sand for a minute or two. I've never done anything like that before, so it kind of looks cool. The tides actually come back in for about an hour or so, it probably would have been even less had we been here earlier. But this is a good spot to remember. Nancy stood guard by the wave runners to make sure they didn't drift away. Swim time is over, and we are now heading in to see about getting sandwiches. We dropped Nancy off at the Clinton Town docks to go to Liv's Dockside Grill to grab some food for us and bring back to the wave runners. Wow, that boat over there is from Juneau, Alaska. That is impressive. But that's what people do. They travel all around the world with their boats. This boat is XOXO by Intermarine. Here's another one that's out of Fort Lauderdale. That's Lazara. That one's actually stationed out of here. I think Lazara is the brand. I'm not certain, but that one's nice. And then this blue and white one here, it's a pretty color, you don't see that much. Oh, it just says yacht. So, not really sure what that one is. And then over here is a really nice looking one. It's not huge, but it's a tiara, which I've seen a few of those, and they are really, really pretty looking. If we go straight back to the dock, or the boat ramp, it's 19.5 miles from here. So if we're averaging 24 to 30 miles an hour, that's, you know, not super fast. So could take anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour. Plenty of gas left. We've used 4.5 gallons. I've gone over 100 engine hours, so I'm due for a change. So Nancy got me a grilled cheese. I'm gonna eat that now. Yum yum. All right, so we're heading out from grabbing lunch. No place to dock and get off the boat, so we sent Nancy up. Thankfully, she's very good and willing to do that. Now, we're gonna head back to the docks, but along the way, we're going to stop at, well, not stop, but we're gonna go past Hammonasset State Park. It's one of the most popular beaches in the state, and it's huge. This area is called Meg's Point. It's M-E-I-G-S Point. And they've got a really nice lookout tower up there. It doesn't seem too high from down here, but when you're up there, it's actually pretty high. And there's a nice trail system that walks over to the main beach, which is right over there, where all the umbrellas are. So this is more of Hammonasset Beach, and it actually goes all the way down, to the end of that whitish sand area. So it's really a very, very large area, and the sand is super soft, super nice. We left Hammonasset and headed back toward the boat ramp. The ride was pretty uneventful again, which is always good, but it did get rough and we got pretty wet, but we made it back okay, just a little wetter than normal. We were pretty tired because we ended up going a lot further than we had planned, but it was really a fun experience, and I'm happy that we got to see so much. Especially the lighthouse, because to me that was probably the best part of the trip, and we didn't even plan to go there. So we're back at the docks. Nancy and Matt went to get the car, and we're done. So we're gonna pack everything up and then head on home. Overall, it was a pretty good day. It was a little rougher than I thought, because it started off a little rough, then it got really smooth, like mirror smooth, and then it got rough again. But not too bad. Certainly not anywhere near some of the roughness that I've been in before, but we had a really fun time. So we're at the Branford River State Boat Ramp. If you have any questions about this or boating on the Sound, please leave a message in the comments, and yes, I apologize. I'll be happy to answer as best I can. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.